Welcome to the Neen Valley Role-Playing Association, a group of friends who like to play RPGs, role-playing games, and try and have fun. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.
It was a dark and stormy night. But by the morning it had all cleared up and the sun was shining and it was lovely. Good evening and welcome back to East Texas University for session 2 of me. I keep looking behind me just to check if there's anybody else, if there's any other adults in the room. And astonishingly, there is actually an adult in the room this evening. Welcome back, Anthony, GM of Wonders.
Yay!
But here's the thing. We're right in the middle of a story that was of my devising. And not only was that story of my devising, Anthony looked at it and went, no, I'm not playing any part of that, mate. Having absolutely nothing to do with it. So instead he's going to be playing some guest roles tonight. Let's not spoil the surprise for this evening. And we welcome back Martin, playing Richie, who was not with us last session, but he'll slot back in without too much difficulty, trust me. And of course we have two of our hardiest series regulars. First of all, we have Christine the cat, who is playing Grace.
Me.
And we have Rob, who is playing Fish.
Yay! Jazz hands for fish.
It almost makes us sound like we don't have a life, Christine.
I was promised bacon. I came back because I was promised bacon.
But this time we also want maple syrup to go onto the bacon. Otherwise, these cats ain't performing.
All I can tell you is last session, endless discussion of bacon.
Yes.
Streaky and otherwise.
Endless discussion of how bad the fish and chips were, what kind of soft drink we were having in the bar, etc. In fact, we spent more time, well, I say we, I spent more time listening to conversations about food than we did actually the mysterious, weird and supernatural goings on in East Texas University. But hey,
wonderful.
I feel
we're enjoying it. Who am I to judge?
I think feel that we need a bit of player caveat here. After we went into the establishment the first time and we got shit food, lousy hospitality and all the rest of it, and the only person who can actually drink an alcoholic beverage is an undocumented student. Well, actually, that might be unfair. He might be documented. But Manny was the only one who could actually drink, okay, because we
Richard
can't.
got fake ID as well.
Yeah, Richie. Yeah.
So we vowed, well, when I say we, it was more Grace and myself, we vowed never to step foot in that English tavern ever again. And then what happened? We landed, start off, straight having breakfast in the English tavern.
You were having
evening.
You were having dinner rather than breakfast.
Oh, dinner, sorry.
Yeah, evening meal.
The fish and chips.
You'll notice
look at each other going, why are we in here?
You'll notice if you read back through the stories, though, you'll notice that everywhere we go and we're eating, we always seem to be going to these places and eating. Grace will always ensure we stop and we don't go and help people, like Margaret Winters when she wanted help with her rift and the demon trying to get through. Grace was, no, we haven't eaten yet. We can't leave yet. No, let's just eat first. You have to eat first. Wouldn't let you leave the place till you'd had your food.
What
I mean,
harm
this-
could another
this is
5
a-
minutes do? I don't know.
What you GMs fail to understand is this is real life. What we do behind the cameras, that's all fantasy.
Exactly.
Give them
Grace
baby.
was not leaving, but when it came to being at the Red Lion, and we had the interruptions there, she was the first one up out the door. Let's go. Let's leave the place. No, we don't need to pay for that. It was rubbish. Come on, let's go. First one out the door.
Yeah, I must admit, I did actually miss that cue.
When the story walked in for a conversation, that was it. They were done. They wanted to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, it's John Byers again. God, Grace, are you going to do him or what?
Different kind of making bacon, I believe, but all right. Moving on. So, let's have a little bit of a recap.
Yes.
Last week, you discovered, or I should say, in fact, yesterday, last evening, you discovered that there was a student by the name of Sherry Meadows, who is part of the cheerleading team, who had a very bizarre experience in one of the buildings on campus. Let's move to the campus map so we can hone in on which particular building that is. And the building that we are talking about is building number 25.
The William Greystone.
The details is the William Greystone building.
Mm-hmm.
She'd gone there late in the evening, on Monday evening, and she saw something very bizarre, which was that she saw a little boy running around in the corridor. And when she chased after him to find out who he was, he ran into a room. There was a woman dressed in a black dress in that room with a stick, a cane, who was beating the little boy violently. And when she intervened, the woman turned, and this terrified Sherry. She said that she just had an absolutely horrifying and terrifying look. Sherry was so frightened that she fell over in the corridor and screamed. The janitor, who was locking up at that point, came, and he waited with her until help could arrive. I beg your pardon?
Femi Ukuni.
Femi, indeed.
Femi Ukuni.
He's an ex
oil worker. Oil rig worker.
Roughneck.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Nigerian.
He's an ex-roughneck. Used to work down on the rigs in the Gulf, but originally from Nigeria. Of course, experience in the oil industry from there. All these things seem to add up. I mean, who knew?
It's like you planned it.
And so you spoke to her and learned more about what had happened to her. You then got some equipment and you went to the spot where Sherry said she had had the experience in the William Greystone building. And you went just before 10 p.m. You went at about 9:30. You spoke to Femi, and you were in the room for about 15 minutes, around kind of leading up to 10 p.m. But you did not observe the same activity. You then checked up on as many data sources as you could, but you decided that the things that you needed you couldn't easily find out from what you had to hand at that point. So you got your heads down for the night, and then the following morning, first thing,
we had breakfast.
Second thing, first you went for breakfast,
bacon,
and second thing you went to the Patrick O'Brien building.
We did indeed,
and you went to see
Dr. Elisan Salinero.
Dr. Ella Salinero. Sorry? Dr. Ella Salinero.
Ella Salinero.
Yes.
And she's actually a Native American and she's the archivist and the historian for ETU, but also for the former Women's College, and for the history of this place, because way back, this goes back to tribal connections and so forth. But realistically, she's been involved in studying and maintaining the records in the archives for both the Women's College and for ETU since really since the Women's College started. And I believe it was 1820. Trying to remember. And you've just concluded with her, but one of the things that she did was she sent you. She'd had some photos, and she told you that the area around the William Greystone building, and also next door the R.E. Lee Engineering and Applied building. That's building 19. The area around there was actually covered by a building that was a dormitory. And she has provided you a picture of that building, which she had actually digitized. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of those squares are drawn. And what she did was the squares are not the building. The building would have been larger. It would have covered, footprint wise, it would have covered most of the area of 19 and 25. But she said that that building was a dormitory for older women students who had children. So there were children who lived on the campus in that particular dormitory building. And the picture that she gave you actually had people on it. And so you took the picture to Sherry, and Sherry had a look at it, and she identified the woman in the centre of the picture as the woman that she saw. And she identified the boy in the picture as well, but the boy is with another woman who you assume to be his mother. So quite what the relationship was here, I'm not sure. But it looks like the woman with the black dress was the house mother. She was the woman who ran the dormitory. And so, you're scratching your head, deciding what to do next, and as you sit quietly,
where are we? Where are we sitting?
You're sitting.
Are we in the library?
In the library. You've taken one of those little study rooms off to the side. You've managed to bagsy one and elbow your way into it. You're sitting in the library again. And as you are sitting there, cogitating, Richie walks past. They go basically glass. They're glass half partitions. So the room that looks out into the corridor is half glass at the top. It's all windows. Richie walks past and he stops, and his head goes down, and he looks at something like off into the distance, and then he turns and he looks at you two, and then he looks around and he shrugs. Richie, you're heading into the library. You've just had your last exam, and you're heading into the library to return some books. And as you walk into the library, you walk down the corridor past the study rooms on the left and right. And with sunglasses on, your eye catches something in the distance. You stop and you look at whatever it is. And then you feel this real, almost this compulsion to turn around, as if something's tapped you on the shoulder. It's a very bizarre feeling. Which is why you turn around and you look. And then you realise that you're stood in front of one of the study rooms. And sitting in the study room are Fish and Grace, looking at you, puzzled.
Wave. My paw doesn't come up. Wave.
I'll pop in and join them, I think.
Ah,
Right.
Yeah.
how's it going?
You want some bacon?
Oh, yes, please.
I would offer you
Some
some, but
cookies.
Grace snarfed mine. I've only just realised. And this was from this
Ah.
morning.
Grace
Last
pulls
night,
out
sorry.
a pack of cookies from her backpack. Do you want a cookie?
Oh, yes, please. Food
Offers cookie.
is good. Mm.
Have you finished
Did
your
you
exams
run-
now?
Yeah, they're all done. All done.
Richie, could you make me an occult roll, please?
I'll try. A cult.
Do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Well done. Oh, 13.
Okay.
Sure, 13 means nothing for an occult roll.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it? You roll a 13. You don't know what it was that stopped you, but something, like some kind of sixth sense, just tapped at you and told you to turn. But as you walked down that corridor, you were mulling over what it was. Something caught your eye. You could have sworn. So at the end of the corridor, it opens out into an open area, kind of around the central open area, which is where there are desks, so people can sit and study. It tends to be a little bit noisier, but basically it's the kind of place where you can go get a book and you can sit and you can make notes and so forth. A little bit noisier in the study rooms. Study rooms tend to be a lot quieter, but there's desks and so forth. And you could have sworn that despite the modernity of the building, the thing that you couldn't, that seemed to be settled in your head, was that you could have sworn that in the distance there was an old wooden counter, and standing behind the counter was a very stern-faced woman. And you don't know why you saw that, because that's what you saw it kind of almost like the corner of your eye, like just sort of in the distance. And then you felt that almost, it wasn't a tap, but it was almost like someone was tapping you on the shoulder. And then when you looked and then you turned away, it wasn't like that. It was back to how you expect the place to be. But something caught at you.
Something's going on.
Something, yeah. It's just food is good. I don't know. It's a bit. It's coming back to bring these books back. I was just walking down the corridor. I didn't know you were here, and then I just saw something ahead that looked out of place, and then a weird feeling.
What out of place? How? What, a person or an animal or something, or what?
A book?
Something like
Not in the right section?
no. It's like it was a
Shadow?
a bit like something from the past. It was just like maybe something that how it used to be
Oh.
years and years ago. It's like this old furniture and an older person. Just like at the edge of your vision. I mean, I know wearing shades inside can do funny things to you, but
I turned my laptop round and it's got the picture it's got the picture 137B on the screen because I'm looking at that as well as trying to do some other things on my phone, and I went, anybody from this picture?
going back a bit, let's have a look. So I'm just going to scan through the picture. Do I recognise
You
anybody?
do.
I do.
You do, yes.
Oh,
Well,
that's weird.
Yes, you do, because you got 13 on your
Yeah.
so yes. Yeah. That's weird.
That's
the problem
weird.
is because it was out the corner of your eye, and now you're looking at a picture of somebody dressed with a stern face and dressed in a black dress. Now you're starting to wonder: was this you actually seeing that, or is it now that you're filling the details in?
Yeah.
And you're just it just unsettles you slightly, but you're not sure. You feel like it was, but was it?
It could be it could be someone there, but it's the right kind of dress and time period, but
In black?
yeah, I think it was black. It was just at the corner of my eye, so I don't yeah, it wasn't like I got a good look at them. But...
I suppose she could have worked in the library.
What are you digging into?
I point to the woman in the middle of the photograph who Richie says might have been her, but I'm not too sure, but black dress. And I go looking into her. And then I say, basically, to cut a long story short, Sherry from the cheerleading squad was over in building 25. The William Greystone building.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier for me to just use the numbers that are on the campus map than try and remember all the names. And basically, she went into this one room on her way out, and there was this woman in black beating a small child, which is this child there. And I show him the child. So Sherry's actually confirmed both people. Now, this was taken in 1927. And the buildings 19 and 25 were built in 1998. So it'd be interesting what was there before. Now,
yeah, she ain't going to be working in the library now, is she? It was 1927.
Well, I mean, if she is, then she might be as a skeleton.
Yeah,
stranger things have happened.
Have I got?
Well, she was also seen by Sherry on the Tuesday.
Oh yes,
kind of just down from the rook. The roost. Sorry, not the rook. The roost. Which is building number 21, the one with the raven's head on it. That big oval one. So she's been seen. She's been seen in that area.
I mean, that's kind of the central part of this campus, isn't it? It's like the buildings, the library's in the middle, and then you've got that building over there.
Yeah.
Can I sense anything? Because if I've got the, I got the I can't say it. Psychically sensitive edge. Can I roll the sense or anything in the vicinity? Or can I sense anything at the moment other than just seeing anything? Can I kind of just try and get an impression if anyone is of a supernatural sort of nature is in the vicinity?
You know that edge that you've got?
Yeah.
How do you think you
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of look around and you scratch your head for a bit, but you don't. There's nothing else. There's no other feeling that you get.
Yeah, it's past at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, whatever that was, it's just it's faded away now, but it was definitely there.
Well, I'll keep it. I'll kind of try to focus in on it if I feel it again, and try and see if I can hold on to that and get a better look at anything in the future. So I kind of concentrate on that sensation next time I feel it, or if I feel it again. Oh, that's definitely weird. Yeah.
So we've kind of undertaken a small job for Glenn Mack, but he doesn't know about it. Well, he does because sent him some details, and we borrowed some equipment. But yeah, so it's definitely something strange.
Ooh.
Apparently it happened on Monday. But over the past several months, don't know exactly how many months, they've been going through lots of janitor changes for the weekend job. So don't know if it's something that happens every Monday night.
I wonder if we can track down this Jerry, see if we can have a chat with him. Find out why he decided to quit his job. Because he was the janitor that was covering that building at the weekends, but he suddenly quit. We were talking to a guy called Femi, who's the caretaker there on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But he was filling in for Jerry on the Monday because he suddenly quit, so he was filling in for him on the Monday. And obviously he was the one that was picking the cheerleader up off the ground and helping her out and getting her some first aid and stuff. But he was saying she was so scared.
And we've gone down into the basement, which, as everyone knows, you don't go down in the basement, but we did go down in the basement, and basically the basement has all the HVAC boiler system in there, and it connects, the basement connects 19 and 25 together. Here, have a look, and basically you see on Perch's, on Fish's map of the university, where he's just doodled in a yellow rectangle with a red square, and that's basically how it all goes through. So that's basically where we're to. And we managed to, or I managed to blag having a look at the HVAC system in a pretense to try and see if there's anything left over or residue for,
Rituals of any kind,
or something like that. To see if this apparition was summoned. But it was spotless. It was spotless.
Yeah.
So.
One thing we could do...
So that's unfair. It's just nice and clean and tidy, given the fact that it was a 25, 28-year-old, machinery.
So
it was well kept.
So, spotless.
One thing we could do, I mean, while we're here, we could try and find out if, the history of, who worked in the library. And see whether that person did work in here. We could say it was, we're doing a list of history of this building, and that, say for a plaque for the wall or something. I don't know.
We were thinking of going down to the Pine Box Gazette because they've got records that go back to the 1830s, and that covers the women's college, which was here in the 1850s. And we think this woman, as I say, we think she was actually part of the admin side of it here on these grounds in around about the 1920s, 1930s ish. So we're hoping to maybe see if we can find some information about what happened to that building that she was in and running for this college, if she was there. But just see if we can see any of these people that we've got in the picture in any of the stories from those times. Was there something that happened? Was there some disaster? Was there, did it burn down? Was there a child killed there? Why is there something horrible that happened back at that time that's basically caused spirits to attach themselves to this area somehow?
Are the other?
Yes.
Sorry, I think Martin was just about to reply with something, so I'll wait.
It's just a quick question. There was based on 19 and 25. If they're built in 1990, 8-ish. Are the other buildings around it like 10 to? Are they a similar age or are they older? Did these stand out as being newer than the rest of them, or are they kind of a similar? Or the others kind of a similar age as well?
So we were told by the archivist that there was some areas that were taken down in the start of the 1970s and were left, and then they weren't rebuilt until about the 1990s. So this was probably one of the last buildings rebuilt at that time when they were finishing off putting buildings back in place, or buildings that were needed. None of them apparently are exactly on any footprints of original buildings, but there were original buildings in this area from the 1850s college that was here, the women's college.
So,
back then.
Putting in that, just a quick reminder, which is that this building here, this building 28,
Yes, it's
that's actually the
original.
Holloway Suites, is the only building that's left originally from the women's college.
Okay.
Yeah. So in answer to your
may I add a just a little aside as not to change the fiction too much. In 1977, East Texas University, known at the time as Southeast Texas Institute, underwent a physical transformation. Hugo Reed, a popular architect from Houston, designed a bunch of the buildings that have taken over, and that will come up later in another session. Carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say. Thank you. No, that's really good. Given this your world,
Yeah.
and I'm just peddling through.
No.
It is.
No, I love it.
But yeah, so actually the fact is that these are two of the newer buildings on campus. Not entirely, but these are two of the newer buildings on campus. A lot of the other buildings are older than this, but not very old. They've been I mean, a number of them go back to sort of a few buildings go back to the 60s, but mostly mid 70s and onwards. And there's a few newer buildings as well. But these two in particular, 19 and 25, were built on what was at the time just a patch of green. You know, if you look at the map. Sorry, Christine?
Sorry, I was also just going to say that I think one of the newest buildings on the campus is, of course, building number 5. It's got a red 5 on it. It's the Newton Theatre, and it's got some newfangled dangled toilets in there. There are only 3 toilets, and there's no hand basins, no sinks, nothing to, no facilities like that. But there are 3 newfangled toilets in there. I mean,
John,
the rest of the place has just got holes in the ground. But
how do you freaking deal with characters like this? How? Oh.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, sorry.
You've heard the phrase "water off a duck's back," right?
Okay.
So the fact is that actually, if you have a look, you can see that there are spaces left on the campus, where potentially future buildings, could be built.
Yeah.
Should there be a need, and this happens to be one of those spaces.
For one here.
This happens to be one of those spaces, and that was built. Yes, indeed. There are spaces on campus where other things could be built. Should that need to be the case?
Right. This is a fauna type
just
question.
Right, does that answer your question?
So, sorry.
Whose question?
Yep. Thank you.
Martin had asked a question about buildings.
Yep. Thank you.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Sorry, John.
Flora and fauna. We've been in this university now for 6 months because we've just had our midterms. You get exams twice a year. That's what I got told.
It's close to that.
Okay.
Close to that.
Right. So,
after.
looking around the campus, I'm interested in the trees. Bear with me on this. Are they all roughly inside the semicircle where 19, 25, 15, and 11 are? Are they all the same type of tree, Are they
Okay, so I
different?
think it's very important at this point that we as that I as the GM of this session and conscious of the fact that I'm GMing somebody else's world and that they are present as well, leaps in with a very important point to make, which is please don't overthink it by looking at the map and going, well, that tiny little square there is different to the other one, and therefore that must mean something. And that if I draw a circle between them, that's a pentacle. At the centre of that must be where the big bad evil guy is hiding or something. You're overthinking it. Honestly, they're just trees. It's just a little map, and they're just trees.
For now.
But that doesn't answer my question because there is a legitimate reason for asking.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
No,
I understand.
So
But
just saying that trees is not going to cut it for fish. Okay. Fish would know that they're just trees, but are they all the same type? The answer is either yes or no.
Okay.
They're not all the same type.
I'm happy. I think. Let me jump in. I truly think that the big thicket, which this is built into, their trees have been knocked down, trees have grown up, etc. Some of those trees in the middle of the campus are younger than the trees around them. They are all of the same basic genus as the big thicket.
That's where I was leading to, which is, are the trees... Because sometimes, if there's no need to rip a tree out, people didn't rip a tree out. So sometimes you might find one that is older. That's what I was basically going for. And I was going to use the unscientific of basically guesstimating the circumference of the trunk to sort of like go, that's 300 years old. So, you know, because maybe one of the trees was used as a hanging tree. So there's
I would say, so I'll give this, John, and Christine, you can put this in your notes. The clump of trees in front of building 31 is obviously much older than the rest of the trees on the campus.
31.
All the rest of them
that one.
look slightly newer. Okay.
31, I can't see 31.
I will.
That's Grace's
right there.
Tree.
Right. So these are older trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that may or may not come into something later. Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
So I would also say that given that, you know, if you think about blocks like this block here and
yeah. All these big blocks, those are all old. I'm just talking about the little things inside the big oval.
You see, Richie, Grace, the thing that's puzzling me at this moment in time is it the boy that's manifesting? That doesn't sound right. Is it the boy that's doing the manifestation, or is it the woman that's doing the manifestation? If it's the boy, then Richie, you might be able to help with this. If it's the boy, then it could be through pain and agony. If it's the woman, because she was seen beating the boy, maybe it's from pleasure. And can arousal be a thing to bring a spirit out? I mean, I would say pleasure, possibly, because it's a remembrance. If it's the woman and it's the remembrance, then maybe we might not see her in that room for another year.
Okay, lots of good speculation. Anybody got any thoughts?
I think we need to go down to the Gazette to do some research.
Okay.
If we can find out some history of what happened
both of them have got
in 1927-ish.
And after, maybe.
So you're gonna head out the library and head down to the Pine Box to visit the Pine Box Gazette, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anywhere on campus that would have information on that sort of history, is there? If the archivist doesn't have it, she has maps and stuff, but she doesn't seem to have the history of anything that seems to have happened on the campus. She certainly didn't offer it up to us.
She said that she would need to go away and do some research to find out what was going on.
Okay, and she's going to email that, whatever she finds, she's going to email across to us, she reckons. Is that right? I thought it was just maps that she was going to email across to us.
No, she said she would find the map, a contemporary map, and send you a copy of that. But she also then said that, she said if you wanted any more information to go back to her and ask her, but it would take time because she would have to go through the archive.
Oh, I didn't hear that in the chat. What I did hear was me asking if she could get us the name of the den mother, and she said she'd look into seeing if it was in the records.
Yeah, okay. So she's going to look into that. So that's going to take some time. But she did say she would send you a copy of the. She would dig out a copy of the map and send you that.
Lovely.
Right,
yeah. Well, in that case, I think we need to do that research at the Gazette if there's nowhere on campus we can get that information.
Okay.
I've got plenty of books left, so I don't get accosted by a ghost librarian.
You nip round and drop the books off, and then you join these guys, and you all exit the library together. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what time is it, John? As they're leaving,
it's coming up to about midday. So the library's fairly busy, and there's people. There's plenty of people on the campus moving around. Okay. So as you exit out of the library, you literally, Grace, you are in the front because you're going to head up and you just head around the corner and get your car. You push the door open, and as you walk out the front, or sort of all three of you together, as you kind of walk out the front of the building, off to your left, you suddenly see a flash of movement, and leaping out towards you comes what I can only describe as a person in a gorilla suit. A really crap gorilla suit at that. Suddenly sort of leaps out. Literally, and it just literally, there's this sort of moment, this kind of half a second, not even that, as you see this gorilla sort of jumping out. The rest of you see this gorilla start to jump out towards Grace, and standing behind him, burning with a camera. No, you're not.
I beg to differ. Yes, I am. A gorilla, somebody in a suit is going to jump out at Grace. I'm going to stun the fuckers.
Oh, stun!
No, you haven't got your weapons out at this point. They are packed in your bags. It would take you time to get them out. We weren't prepared for any of that, so I think that is a little bit of a reach. Even I think that's a little bit of a reach. However, am always prepared, and my hands are two lethal weapons, and I'm going to kick the fucking shit out of the gorilla.
I'll bow down to your better judgment, Grace. I think yes. My mind works faster than my hands.
I haven't finished. It's really important, guys. I haven't finished what I'm saying. Okay? Need to finish what I'm saying. I know. Then you guys will have a chance. Okay? But just give me a chance to say what I'm saying. Okay? So, as you just catch this out the corner of your eye, you see this gorilla start launching towards you. Okay? They're a good sort of 5 meters away from you. As you push the door open, the three of you all go through this door. It's a big glass door. Push it open. As you go out, you see this gorilla start to come, and then this gorilla starts to leap toward this idiot in a gorilla suit starts to leap towards you, and the gurning face of Sarah behind, like this with her camera up. There's a sudden darkening. And it's literally, again, it's this quarter second, and then there's another quarter second, and it's almost like the sky darkens and the world just dims around you. And flashing up between you and Sarah and the gorilla, something just manifests itself. Okay? Occult roll, please, if you've got it.
This is me. You want?
I don't.
Yes.
Anybody who's got occult can roll it.
Oh, I might.
Ooh. 11 and 2.
I do.
Okay.
Did it roll?
All right. So you got occult as well,
Sarah.
Grace.
I have. It's rolled.
Not Sarah.
It's.
Yep.
I've got it. Mine has rolled.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's the one
Okay.
just after Richie.
So, Fish, you just turn and you just see this almost like this sort of patch of darkness manifest itself. But Grace and Richie, you see the shape of this woman appear, and she's looking, and she's got her back to the two of you, to the three of you, I should say, and this stick comes up. Okay, so this cane, this black cane with a silver-tipped end comes up, and she screams, but the scream is weird. It's not a sound. It's you feel it within you rather than anything else. Sarah, you feel this thing. You see this apparition appear, and this tortured face of absolute terror, of absolute horror, death, violence, and aggression snarls at you, and it leaps towards the gorilla, and as abruptly as it appears, it's gone. It flashes away. The gorilla turns. You hear this high-pitched scream, like it's a woman, but you can tell from the body shape that it isn't. And running strangely, because clearly trousers will need to be changed, the gorilla just sprints off across, screaming this really high-pitched scream as it runs away across the campus. People are stood all around like, what's going on? Sarah has fallen over, dropped her phone, fallen over, and as she's fallen, she's landed really, landed and knocked the wind out of her. She's lying on the ground. Richie, that concerns you immediately.
Yeah.
So, Grace, Fish, you know something weird has happened, but to you, it's not as well defined. And you turn to Grace and like, what was that? Because you're reaching for something that you can do about this, but it's over literally in a flash. Can I also get? Can Grace and Richie both please make notice checks?
Not the best, but they were successful.
Mm-hmm.
You were successful. Yes. You noticed that silver tip on that cane, and you both could have sworn that there was blood on it. Fish, you're just like you're completely nonplussed. But what you do is you look over, and as much as you dislike her, you see Sarah has landed, and you see that she's basically, as she's come down, she's landed on her elbow, and smacked her arms, and her arm is at like a bit of a funny angle. And your immediate instinct is to go, well, I don't quite know what the heck happened. These guys are all freaking out. But actually, you just take a breath, and you're calm, and you're looking, and you're thinking, I better go over and pretend to be a doctor again.
Yeah.
Okay. Time seems to come back.
Yeah, having a niece who's a doctor.
There's various people stood around looking at this tableau and what's gone on. What do you want to do?
Ow! Oh, ow! Oh!
Are you okay? What happened? Why?
Ah! Hit my elbow on the marble of the stair.
Yeah, we need to get that looked at. We need to get that looked at.
It hurts like crap.
Get some ice.
How
A bandage?
How far away is her phone from her?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Is the correct question.
Yeah.
when she fell, it's a couple of meters away. In actual fact, you're closer to it than she is, and you notice that it's face up and it's still on video. It's still recording.
Mm.
It's screen
Okay.
upwards.
Okay.
Do you want to go and grab it? Because you can do.
Yes. I will go and grab it. I will get my
Do you
mobile
want to do
phone
that
out.
surreptitiously, or do you not care whether she notices?
Don't notice.
she's not-
I don't care whether she notices or not. I pick it up.
Okay.
I switch off.
All right.
I turn the camera so that I can see her on the ground, and then I just say, I don't think the lady would like her viewers to see this, and I end the stream. Then I put it back to back with my phone because she's got NFC on, and on my phone I inject something into her phone. I've been waiting for this.
Okay.
He has.
All right.
And I take my sweet ass time getting on over to her.
Okay.
And I take one look at her and I go,
Could I get you to make an academics check for me, please? Oh no, actually, sorry. Could I get to make a hacking check for me, please?
hacking or computer science?
Hacking, please.
Yep.
Very nice. Okay.
I'll have a look at her. Well, it's hard to tell what's going on in your monkey suit.
Not the monkey suit. Not the monkey suit.
No.
Yeah.
So
She's
Sarah's
not
not
the
wearing. Sarah wasn't wearing the gorilla suit.
Something
No.
else.
The
The
gorilla
gorilla
suit.
has run off screaming.
Gorilla was
Oh,
left in.
That was somebody
Still
else.
screaming in the distance.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
bad. I
So there was a
do
gorilla.
She was
apologise.
just, she's obviously just set it up and was recording it. But
Yeah.
she was not wearing the suit. She's not the one who shat her gorilla suit and is not getting the deposit back.
Right.
I like the idea that she was the one who paid to rent it.
Yeah. Has a look. Purple.
Yeah, what she's done is she's come down. She's landed on her elbow, and she's basically twisted her shoulder.
Are you left
So
or
you, I
right?
mean, you,
Are you left or right handed? So,
Right. Right.
come down on the
Well,
left
that's a
shoulder.
bugger then, isn't it? That's a bugger, isn't it?
Richie. It would have been so funny.
Has she dislocated it? Does it need to be popped back into its socket? Oh, go on, a bit more pain.
Oh, I can
It's
have
gonna
it.
be painful, but
Oh,
it's not anything serious. You check it over. However, would I be right in saying this, Fish? When you're checking it over, you make sure that you've checked it over properly. Is that right?
No, I check it over correctly, but no, I don't. I don't put her through any more pain.
Fair enough. Very good.
Nice.
he's got a good doctor's bedside manner. He's a
Yeah.
good doctor.
Yeah.
Doogie
4
Howser.
years. I crammed that bloody medical degree in.
Whoop. Nice.
Just saying. Oh, and yeah, you're kind of right with the Dougie Hauser, Christine.
Yeah, it takes 8 to 16 years for a doctor to become qualified in the UK.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't take that one. I took the 4-year one.
You didn't do the add-on ones, yeah.
No, I
yeah.
didn't do the add-on one, so I know about what. But yeah, but there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go. I'll just say to her, look, it could be a bad sprain, but you never can tell. You got pins and needles in your fingers.
A little bit.
Okay.
It's feeling better. I think it was more just the smack in the elbow on that not concrete, marble. Yeah.
Well,
Crap.
Maybe.
Can you create some kind of sling for her?
Maybe,
No,
Sarah.
I
Maybe, Sarah, what you need to do is be more aware that sometimes your pranks, although well intentioned for your viewers, it might be that you will come to some harm eventually. And
Did the video catch whatever it was that popped up in front of the gorilla and scared the crap out
I
of
need
everybody?
to have a look at that.
Yeah,
So I
let's look at
turn my
this.
phone over and I'll go onto her stream and I'll basically rewind it from live.
Stream or the actual video recording that's on the phone?
Well, the video recording that's on the phone, because I believe that she would have had to have done both for editing afterwards.
Yes. So as you're streaming, it would also be recording onto the phone as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll
So
have a look.
you go into the recording on the phone, and you basically scrub through it, and you see the point at which she starts the video feed, and you see the little intro that she did to her viewers, smugly telling them that they, about this great prank that she was going to pull, and you see she turns to the gorilla, and the gorilla's got his head off. And you see that the poopy gorilla is actually Reggie Metcalf. You recognise Reggie Metcalf. And then he puts the head on, and then they turn, here they go. They turn, and then you just see the door start to open, and the three of you come out. And at that point, there's just this kind of, literally, it's like there's this flash of light on the thing, and then it's up in the air, and you see the phone spinning and landing on the deck, face upwards. So it's pretty much dark at that point until it's picked up, and you turn around and show her lying on the floor, and then hit stop.
Okay. I'll look at my
Something
phone.
tells you that you would need to take a copy of the file and look into it in a bit more detail, because there's a small number of frames and you scrub through them, but you know that you something says, I need to do a deeper analysis of this.
Yeah, we might find that Glenn Mack has some equipment that can do a deeper search into the feed if we can get it to him.
So
Can
you email it across to him?
Getting the video and at least scrubbing through on a frame by frame basis, because you've got video editing tools where you can just unpack it and look on a frame by frame basis, and you can maybe fiddle with the.
Has now finished. Okay.
All right.
So that's done. So I give Sarah her phone.
Okay. Do you take a copy of the file before you do that?
No, I don't need to. I can get access to a phone at any time.
Okay.
He's done the cloning. Absolutely.
Okay. So I give her the thing. Oh, it's even better than that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Even better than that.
You wait until she tries to take a video of Grace. the face, it'll just change to an emoji. And it will be different emojis on every single one, and Sarah won't know what the fuck's happening. But it's basically, it's like facial recognition, and I've put it in. I haven't put Richie in onto it because they are an item, but if Richie ever falls out with her, then Richie will also go in on that emoji list. So yeah, it's just my little way of helping Grace out. Anyway, so I've got access to that. I'm hoping it's also an Apple phone, an iPhone. And I'm also hoping that she's also got a Mac computer, so it will propagate onto her other equipment. So, but that's just for me to say what the program actually does. So yeah.
We'll
so if
figure it
there's
out
something
later,
on there that I don't want, that Grace doesn't want to be seen, then I can access and I can delete the file. Basically.
what's the plan then, folks?
Right. So,
I think first of all we have to get Sarah to a medical bay so that they can basically get some.
Well, I'll go with her, and
She's
you
fine.
can. If you go off
she's
to
fine.
the, if you want to go
Honestly,
to the,
guys, it's just a bad sprain. You know, I put my
Yeah.
reputation as a psychiatrist on it.
I can't just walk off.
She's
and leave
here
her.
on an
Oh,
athletics major, and in my heart I need to know that she's
John,
cared for properly.
I'll go with what you say as far as how bad it feels. But I
Yeah, I mean,
The hospitals.
it hurts, but you don't think anything serious has happened. The thing is that when it
No, I'm
happens,
okay.
you jab your shoulder,
Yeah.
and when you when you do that, it really
It's a
stings.
stinger.
It aches like hell, but it's not. You're not.
Wow.
As long as you're careful with it, and you don't move the arm too much, you don't
Yeah.
try and do anything too strenuous, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it's just a stinger, Grace. You know from your football stuff. You might go off for a play or two, but you can get back in. I'm okay.
Well, look, we're going
Ow.
into Pine Box, so if you want us to drop you off at A&E to get it properly checked out and X-rayed, then you can come. But, and there is a big but, Grace will be driving, so you'll owe her one.
Is Richie coming? Are you going, Richie, with them?
I was, but I mean, you're
Okay, I'll go.
I feel
I'll go.
bad if leaving you. If you
No. Have you thought a little bit about the band thing? You know, me singing, you playing stuff.
Yeah,
Piece
well,
of art?
that's what I was going to suggest. If you wanted to stay, then we could do a little bit of duo stuff. But yeah,
No. I'll go with you. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Grace look-
No
Grace looks
recording in the car.
Oh, goody.
Okay, you walk around to the parking lot, and you all climb into Grace's car. So let's just shift the
Maybe we should have put her in the
a little
boot.
bit.
I mean,
I assume the two of us are in
dear.
the back bench seat, and
Yep.
the two of them are up
Yep.
front. Absolutely. Which is a bench seat as well, but there's armrests down.
I'll sit behind Grace so she's not tempted to do anything stupid.
Brilliant.
So we're going
that's the
from
wrong
here.
thing to do, isn't it? Surely you want to be sat behind me as I'm in the front, because Grace will whip her arm round and catch the person that's behind the passenger.
No, she'll just slide the seat straight back. Push it, and then back on their legs.
Oh my.
Okay, so we'll drop her off. It's down to Richie if Richie wants to go into, but I mean, she
No,
could be
you're
there
not
for at
dropping
least
me
an
off.
hour.
You're not
No,
dropping me
no,
off. I'm coming with
No,
you.
she's joining us. She's joining us at the Gazette.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't what the
Yeah.
offer was.
She's
You
gonna
can
help
either
with the
come with
research.
us to be dropped off at the hospital,
Right,
or
right.
she
No,
can
we
stay
please-
here.
Can we please,
No,
can we please
no.
have a little thing? Can we just please channel Deborah Ann Wall, the very wonderful Deborah Ann Wall? And what did she say about what makes a good player? Okay. What makes a good player is when you're given a breadcrumb by the GM, follow the breadcrumb. Yeah. Hang on.
Grace takes.
Hey,
Miss
we're
Grace-
taking the breadcrumb. We're going to the
Grace-
Pine Box
Grace
Gazette.
takes fish
That's where you
gently.
find all the wonderful
Grace
stuff.
takes fish gently by the shoulder and pulls him over and goes, "We need Richie on this, and Richie needs to be with Sarah right now. So, sadly, Sarah needs to be with us, and let her come. It's fine. As long as we keep an eye on her, she wouldn't get into any trouble. I'm pretty certain. Come on."
If the doorway to the 9 depths of hells does open up in the middle of campus, can we push her in first? Just
Maybe.
to see what
Yeah.
happens. For science.
And I'm not against it,
For science!
Okay.
but we
I was
need
originally
Richie.
getting
We
in the
need.
car and I'm grumbling.
We need
all the
Richie
way
on
to
this
the
project.
pine box.
Richie needs to be keeping an eye on Sarah, make sure she's safe. So I get that. You know, he's a caring boo for her, and he needs to make sure, you know, that his baby boo is safe. So, you know, let her be.
I am so happy I made that connection. So wrong. It's so wrong. You didn't see her You didn't see her major on my.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you,
I saw the brain. My brain went. Yep.
I say to Grace, the way that she yelled when she fell, I reckon she could actually be a damn good singer.
Yeah, no. Hey.
As long as we can get the gorilla on harmony.
I mean, I think that yelp was actually in pitch.
Idiots.
I think probably.
No, this one here.
How
So
do you
we'll nominate this one to here as being the Pine Box Gazette, okay?
Okay, perfect.
That one just
That
there.
one
All
there,
right, so
okay.
everybody can... So that's where you're headed.
Looks good to me.
Where?
Where the dot is.
So
just put.
I'm going to just focus ping there, and that's where you're headed, okay?
Yep. I see it.
Yeah?
That's where I'm heading.
All right, very good. So you drive round the Big D, down the extremely suggestive dotted line coming out this end, and round onto the main road and down towards Pine Box.
Okay.
Okay, good. Pootling along, no problem. Any conversation in the car?
So
Now you don't want to have a side conversation.
Yeah, no, we're having a full-on conversation about bacon.
Sarah, I saw the Glenn Mack advert and thought it'd be really funny to mess with you. I'm sorry. It looks like that turned out really sort of poopy. I actually have that video still.
Certainly poopy for somebody. And
That's going to be so funny when he runs
suit was
off.
leaking. I'm sure
my
that suit was
gosh.
leaking.
Oh.
So what did actually make you fall over?
There was this apparition. John, what did I see? I'm not going to tell you
So Sarah, because Sarah has a cult and made the role, Sarah saw the woman.
There was this woman in black and just horrific, angry face at us. Like it wasn't. It sounds wrong, but it wasn't human. It was like the rage on the face was just. Oh gosh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah. Had you seen anything like that? Have you seen anything like that before, or is that the first time?
I don't think I built her character with any of that.
Okay.
No, I've never seen anything quite like that. No, it was
Weird, isn't it?
Okay, across the river here.
So she was angry with you
Driving down.
and the monkey boy.
She was just angry. Probably not with me. I mean, and you know, wasn't his fault.
Well, she
And then
didn't
along
appear
the
to me,
street we
so
go. And we park up. Just
Fish.
Right.
under the overhang of the trees here and walk
I
across.
didn't see
the Pine Box.
anything, so
You're always pushing things. Fish. I mean, it's not like. Anyway, whatever.
sorry. It's Charles to you.
Oh,
My
Mr.
friends
Charles.
call me Fish.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Charles. Yes, Master Charles. Yeah, whatever you want to say, Master Charles.
Yes. That's
Right, so
better.
you all pile out the car and walk over and
Just
into
remember
the
your position in life, girl.
into the reception.
Yeah,
And there is a big ebony skinned woman who stands up from behind the counter as you walk in. You can see the scowl come across her face. She's looking at you lot and thinking, "Looks like it's going to be trouble." Yes.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I was wondering,
Hello.
we're doing something for a history project.
Oh, I love your accent.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Very kind. We're from England.
Two of you.
Yeah.
Three of us.
Three.
Three. Yeah, three.
Yes. At this point,
You do,
Madam, you can start shouting the redcoats are coming.
We're students from the university. We're doing a project, a
It's
history
an
project.
invasion. Yes, we're doing a history project about the women's. What was it again, Grace? The women's.
Women's college.
She's about 6 foot tall, so she's like, it's coming down.
Yes, and we believe, or we think, we hope that you might have some information on those old-fashioned negative machines that you put the negatives in.
Oh, you want to look at our archives?
The
Yes.
microfish.
Yeah, the microfish, not the big fish or the small fish, but the microfish.
Yes,
Sure.
the microfish.
Yeah,
Oh, come this way.
excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's very kind.
She leans over and presses a button on something behind the counter, and then she walks around. She's got a bunch of keys. It's all quite kind of old school here. Really old school. It's not, the idea of a kind of, digital first newspaper and stuff is not like that. I mean, this is this thing is printed every week.
So it's that old school that even the spiders in the corners are on rocking chairs with a cowboy hat.
She walks around the corner and she takes you down this corridor, and there's this room. She unlocks the room and you go in, and it's a fairly small room, but it's basically lined with all of these tiny little drawers, and you see labels. You see like labels on all the drawers, and there's a couple of kind of old microfiche machines sitting on a desk. Do you know how to use these? You young and
Yeah,
probably,
I have used them once before. I have
So
used
what year
them.
were you looking for?
Hoping to see some history around sort of 1925 through to about 1930-ish, maybe.
1925 to 1930. Well, let's start in 1925. She goes over to a drawer, and it's 1925 January. So, okay, look, this is the first one. So she takes out a sheet.
Excellent.
She comes over to the microfiche machine and she turns it on, and it sparks up, and there's a fan on the side that's burning.
Is there just one machine, or is there a couple of machines around?
There's two machines.
It's two. Okay,
and
lovely.
it spits a load of dust out the side with the fan that's cooling the thing. And she pulls this tray and it flips up. And she says, "You put it in like this." And she puts the she puts the little thing in, and then she shoves it closed, and it comes up on screen. And she starts showing you how to move the platen around. Here's what you do. Now, we can print copies of these. And she points to this kind of little thing on the back, and there's like a strange digital accoutrement that seems to have been sort of plonked onto this machine. You already saw both those machines. But we do charge $1 for each copy. I hope that's okay.
That would be fine. That's very kind.
Now, you see, I see you with the phone there.
Yes.
And I know that you might think that it's okay to just take some pictures with your phone. But, I hope you'll understand, we're a small town paper. We don't have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So if you could just, help us out by printing what you need, it'd really be appreciated.
Absolutely. What's your name again? What's your name again?
That's a good point. I've got no idea.
That's fine, John.
What, you woke up forgetting your name this morning, or?
Her name's Gina. So I was just
Gina.
looking at my notes.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
Gina.
I can tell by the name on your badge. Your name's Gina. If that helps.
My name is Gina. I thought she'd be good to go with a little funky cold Medina.
Mm.
Fun.
Right.
Awesome.
So, I'm going to resist the temptation to have a look at the little box on the back of the thing that goes to the printer. I'm going to actually pay the printing fee or anything that we find. I'm not going to send it to my laptop because I can't be asked. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
Gina, does the fiche, is that just 1 month or is that the whole year or is that just a day?
So you look at each of the little microfiches. It seems to be it seems to be like about half an edition from back then. So you think you would, for the ones back then, which when the paper was daily, 6 days a week, of course, not 7, it would have been you would need 2 little things, but they're all labelled up.
Yeah. Okay.
They're in these little envelopes. You open up the drawer. They're in these little envelopes. You take the envelope out, you put it in, and then you put it back in the envelope, and then you put it back in the drawer. Just
Excellent.
make sure it's the right one.
Okay. How do you want to do this? Split it into 3?
What? Split 1 to 3. What are you on
There's
about?
2 machines.
There's 2 machines.
There's 2 machines. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's 2 machines.
There are
You
2
see,
machines.
I am just absolutely playing this character spot on in it because I'm absolutely clueless. You know, they're right in front of me. and I
Actually,
think
that's the
there's
first
more
time I
of them.
think you have played. That's amazing. You've played a character that's just like you.
Yes. I modelled it upon myself. Just
Oh, you modelled
the
it on
education
you.
side of things.
While you're going through the microfiches, shall we just take a very quick break, and then we'll be back?
Yep, that sounds
Yep.
good.
That sounds good. Okay, in a mo. Let's not tell Anthony, though.
Sorry, it's just. So, which fishes are you fishing about in?
Huh?
Because
All of them.
you've got
Micro.
6. You've got 6 a week. 6 newspapers a week. 2 microfiches on each one. And what you have to do is you have to put them in and you have to literally manually go through the whole of the paper. It takes a while just to do one.
We're
So
looking for pictures.
All of them, and there are thousands of them. So
Well, the first thing I think we're going to do is we're going to start with Monday the September. What is it? September, October, August, whenever it is. The date that basically she appeared to Sherry. We're going to actually look at that date versions in 19, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Just very quickly, that one particular day across the 5 years.
Wow.
And see if there is a story. And we're looking specifically for, the first thing we're looking for is pictures. See if there's a picture of her face, a child's face.
Richie, do they do this all the time? This research is crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we learned some stuff.
What does Sonia think? I mean, is she aware?
But we did research, or
Yeah, I mean, I know Sonia and Glenn Mack don't necessarily get along, but does she know that they're getting this deep into stuff? It's amazing.
if it returns results, I mean, you know.
Adding in the color, John.
52 times 6. Okay. So 312.
We've got to narrow it down
a
somehow.
year. Times by 2, because there's 2 fishes per day. Times 2. 626. Times by
Okay.
5 years, because we're looking from
Let's do this.
5
What date do you? What date?
We have 3,120 of these microfish to look through.
Well, that's a question.
I've just
we
told
don't
you.
know.
I have
So-
just said.
Takes about,
I was
takes about
specific.
20 minutes to scan each microfiche, just in the loosest possible. Scan through, just look at the headlines. Takes about 20 minutes for each one, and there's two of you. So per hour, you could do.
Let me just say that Grace.
John, I think it's a research role.
Christine's already said that we're going to have
Modified
to
by
narrow it down.
difficulty.
So the best way to narrow it down is to look by the day. So we know that she appeared on Monday. So that's our baseline. So we know that it was
If
after
that is-
1927 because the boy and the woman were in the picture in 1927, but we don't know when that picture was taken. So I would say baseline would be 1927 forward.
So,
suggest
you want
that
to have
one
another
day
look
to
at that?
see if something's happened and was reported.
You want to have another look at the photograph?
No.
Why would we need to do that?
Why?
Yes.
Because if you have a look at the edge of the photograph, don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay.
Make sure you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, research role.
I
Who is going to do that?
Me. And I got
Oh, I
5. And according to the
I have
rules,
research.
that's 16.
there may be a minus to this perch before you head up. That sounds a little bit more like it.
There might be minuses,
There's-
but
How many machines were there, John?
2.
2.
There's 2.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
We've got-
And
yeah,
there
we've
is
got
there is an assistance option as well, isn't there? But I can't remember how that works.
Yeah, they can roll, and you get a +1 if they succeed.
Hmm.
Okay. So can I get Sarah to roll, and can I get Richie to roll as well, then, please?
Research.
Yep.
3 and 2.
We can also get them a negative if we fail dramatically. Looks like neither.
Oh,
of us
yeah,
did.
yeah.
We didn't give them anything,
Yeah.
but we didn't give them a negative because we didn't have a double 1.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're
Okay,
handing them
so-
crap, and but it's not helping them.
Yeah. Basically, you just in the end, Grace has to tell you to shut up because
Yep.
it's getting annoying. Yeah.
Fine,
Sorry.
Grace. Fine, Grace. You have to be so freaking always the hero.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, you start at the sort of the beginning of 1937, and you start looking through. And
No.
actually,
No.
No.
1927.
No. No.
27.
No.
Yes.
So 37.
Yes, you did
No!
say 37.
I have said already. We know what day Sherry was attacked on.
Right.
Monday,
Yes.
the blah, 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 blah of September, October, whatever the month was, whatever the date was, we know it. We are going specifically to that date over the 5 years, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We're going to that particular date, which should mean we're looking at 10 microfishes. Exactly.
That's why she rolled so
In
well,
defense
John.
of John, I did say that because of the picture, we knew that the boy and the woman was alive in 1927. So maybe that could be our baseline.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm happy for
But
that.
because we don't
But I'm
know
not
whether
going
that
through the
was done
entire
in
year.
January or whatever. Okay, so
At the start.
yeah, as a start, but we know the day that Sherry was attacked, so we're using that as also as a baseline to look. So yeah,
Be careful, John. She'll title this whole episode Microfiche Gate.
now that's a good name.
No, very
Right.
good.
So
So
sorry,
let me
Christine,
just
if I
explain
just
something.
buggered
Let
you
me just
over.
explain something, Christine. When Anthony starts off on something and you think he's not listening to you, that probably means he's screwing you over. But when it's me, trust me, I'm looking after you.
Perfect.
It's absolutely
He's
fine.
always looking after you.
Always looking after you. Don't
Well
you worry.
done. Well done.
Absolutely fine.
No, yeah, no, we've narrowed it down more than just a year. We're
Yeah.
just initially.
You're
I
looking
mean, if
at
we don't
some-
find anything from there, then we start moving out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It's absolutely fine. You're looking at some dates in
We're waiting
1920.
for the next
You've got a lovely
breadcrumb to
note.
drop. That's what it is. We're waiting for
coming.
the next breadcrumb.
Sarah. So Grace has
Right.
sat Sarah down in the corner, and she's given her the picture to nosy at, and shows her the woman in black who she saw screeching at her. Look at her. Just look at her.
Ooh.
And I'm going to leave her
Yeah.
with the picture and see if she can find anything in the picture.
Okay, so you look through the microfiches, and after a while looking through them, Grace, you find one. And the weird thing is that when you find it and you start talking about it, the two of you are looking at something, and you find like an additional story fish. So you find like a secondary story, and you're like, is this relevant? But you find a headline, you find a front page splash. Okay,
Yeah.
and the two of you then crowd round and read this story. It's absolutely lurid. I mean, this is, they obviously must have been loving this, the local paper. It's as insanely overblown as it possibly could be.
Yeah.
But the story goes that one Mrs. Claiborne, who was the house mother for VALDEN House,
Ooh, Valkyrie.
at the Women's College. Yeah, I'll give you the details of this in a second. Was found cackling demonically, her black dress covered in blood, and waving her cane around, and she was trying to clean blood off the floor with a cloth. That a young boy, Thaddeus O'Leary, was found to be missing, and that she was well known for disciplining this boy regularly because she would often fall out with him. In the hall, in the downstairs hall, in the reception area at VALDEN House, there was a smashed vase, and it is believed that the boy had knocked over and smashed the vase, and then in a fit of rage, she had beaten him with her ebony cane with a silver top, and beaten him to death, but she refused to say what had occurred. In fact, she refused to speak at all, and all she would do is cackle maniacally and hiss at people. And there was a constable called who was arrested her, and she's currently in jail in Pine Box, at the sheriff's office in Pine Box. And there's loads of lurid details about about what had happened, and a picture of the poor boy's mother looking, terribly distraught, and so forth.
And did they ever find the body of the boy?
Hang on.
Okay.
So, you spend some time between the two of you going through stories over the sort of the next 6 to 8 weeks. And she's tried for this, but even in court, she will not even respond to her name. All she does is cackle maniacally and hiss. Cackling and hissing is all that she does. And then eventually, she is inevitably found guilty, and she is given the death penalty because they are convinced that she has murdered this boy. And then the sort of stories kind of drift off, and there's nothing for a number of weeks. And then you hear that she's been sent up to Huntsville. And you actually get to the end of the year, and you get into 1928 at this point. And then in sort of middle February of 1928, it says how that she was sat down in Old Sparky. And even as the voltage was turned on, even as the electricity was turned on, she continued to cackle and cackle until she was dead. By the way, as a Texas boy, you will know that some of the historical detail here is quite accurate.
Yeah.
They didn't use hanging in those days. Then they
did not.
electrocuted.
It was the electric chair. Huntsville.
Huntsville. How far away is Huntsville from here?
Don't know, because here is a bit like Springfield in The Simpsons.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Sarah. How far away is Huntsville, Sarah? Sarah's local, isn't she?
No, I'm not.
You're more bloody local than we are.
Well, I suppose so. I mean, I'm from Tacoma.
You've got a comb over.
I've kind of always assumed that it's West Texas. Would that be right?
No, Washington, Tacoma.
Not Tacoma. I've assumed that Pine Box is in West Texas.
No, it's actually East Texas.
East.
Yeah,
East
East Texas University, ETU.
East.
So,
of course it is.
It's behind him on the wall. East Texas University. East Texas.
Okay, so kind of Freeport Way.
Letters behind his head.
Yeah, if you go down from across from Dallas and then down and then across from like it's that the edge of Texas going towards the east.
So kind of okay. All right, Lufkin, that sort of area, maybe a little bit further east than that, even.
Yeah, let me.
Okay, so I was listening because I was writing feverishly.
Me too. Anytime we go quiet.
Miss Claiborne died in the electric chair at Huntsville Penitentiary in 1928. I got that much.
She did.
What was the date?
It's February, wasn't
on
it?
the microfiche?
So the date of her death?
Yeah.
That was the 11th of February.
John, if you were to go where San Augustine is,
right,
across Highway 21,
right.
If you imagine the town being some place in between those two big national, right? You got the Angelina National Forest and the Sabine National Forest. I think if you can imagine it as being somewhere between there and there.
Okay.
And the 11th of Feb, how does
so somewhere some kind of around Milam?
How does that correlate with Monday's date?
It does not.
It does not. So it's not an anniversary on a day.
No, but the day on which the first report appears about her being found, which was the day after, so it was the previous day, that was a Tuesday edition, so it was a Monday that she was... So it was a Monday that the crime was committed.
So, Monday that the crime was committed.
Down 96, Pineland. Down 96.
Right.
Go ahead.
Where Does it mention
In fact,
where
it was
the
Monday
body
the
was
13th of
buried?
June, 1927.
We don't know. We haven't found a body yet, have we? We are looking, I think.
Yeah.
Is the body found?
No, the body was never found. It says in the thing when she's put to death, the article about it says that his body has never been discovered. His body has never been found. Despite many searches, his body has never been found.
Okay. I'm wondering if we need to try and find out from Dr. Salerno whether or not there was any building work on the grounds in 1928. 1927, wouldn't it have been? Because it was 1927 that the crime happened, and she was then tried over the coming weeks. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A Monday in 1927 is when she committed the crime.
And there must be old bits of, I don't know whether there's remnants of underfloor basements and things, footprints of buildings that are no longer there, where, like you say, foundations, building work that have been used to cover up if it happened on the old site.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any building work going on, any buildings going up, foundations going in. I think that perhaps she could have thrown the body any...
Hang on, we're missing something.
Yeah, what we're missing?
What we're missing? Richie?
Yeah.
This is weird. Do your friends do weird stuff all the time?
Well, no. But what does he say?
Sarah's like a poser superstar thing that everyone loves, but not Sarah. I mean Grace. I mean she's like this poser superstar, but Fish seems innocuous. I mean,
I don't think she poses. She's very good. But
yeah, I know. But if you lived with her, it's just she's so normal, and then she's like this freaking superstar. It's really, I don't know if it's like she's like this annoying roommate. You know, she's so popular when I try so hard to do things that are popular.
I think every roommate's annoying. It doesn't matter which roommate you are. I think every roommate's annoying.
Yeah, makes sense. But no one has like skills you do with that guitar.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I am the annoying roommate in my room.
Of course not. Of course not.
Billy knows a bit, but he's not. He doesn't. He's not into. He's not into the stuff that we're into. He's not.
Are you still interested in maybe doing a little band action?
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, definitely need to do some of that.
She's got a sound you've heard when she does her not choral singing, when she's doing actual choral singing. She's a little bit like that lead singer from the Ravenettes, the tall Chinese chick, part Chinese chick. I mean, she's got a good voice for that. Go ahead, John.
Can I just say?
I look at Grace.
That's a great band reference.
And I just
One of my favourite bands.
subtly
Genuinely.
shake my head as those two are talking. And then I look at her and I went, correct me if I'm wrong, Grace, but didn't we walk away from Dr. Salinero's office with a title of Den Mother?
No, House Mother.
House Mother, not Den Mother.
House Mother. She was responsible for a house, and it would appear it was VALDEN House. Mrs. Claiborne, the house mother of VALDEN House, was found
Claiborne
cackling
of VALDEN
demonically.
Mrs. Claiborne of VALDEN House, yep.
Of VALDEN House, yes. was found cackling demonically. So it seems we have a name for the dorm house as well, possibly. Oh, maybe get that confirmed with Dr. Salinaro.
I'm going to print off both the articles. The one that I found and the big juicy one that Grace has found, plus the follow-up on the 11th of Feb or the 12th of Feb. It would have come out on when she died on the 11th of Feb. So I'm going to print those out. So that's 3. That's 3 printouts. Then I would like to...
There's probably, I would have thought over the days, because I mean, this is such a juicy story that are reporting on it almost every day. So we've probably got somewhere in the region of about 10 to 15 pages there that we've printed out, I'd have thought. With any details, see if there's anything new come out.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that woman's name again? I asked Grace.
Gina.
Which one?
Gina.
The what?
At the front
Gina.
of the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
At the front desk. Yeah. Gina. Don't have her last name.
Okay.
Gina.
2 seconds then. Right. So I go out to the front desk and see if Gina's there.
Okay.
Yeah. Is she there?
She is.
She is. Excuse
Have
me.
you actually hit print on these things, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. So you walk out and you notice at the kind of at the side of her there is this big old wheezy looking laser printer, and there's a bunch of sheets sitting in there, stacked up in it.
Okay,
That's where
excuse
they've
me,
been coming out.
Miss Gina.
Yes.
I was just wondering. We printed off some news articles from
I can
back
see.
in the day. I was wondering, where would we be able to? Would we have any photographs of VALDEN House of any era, time period? I mean, or would your photographs now be discarded because they would then be put into print? How did it work back then?
Where's VALDEN House?
It's, I think, if I've got my information right, it was part of the Women's College Institute.
Oh,
On the former grounds
my
of
goodness.
the East Texas University, 1927's. And
oh
before.
goodness me! Photos from that long ago. Well, I don't think we have anything still in the archive. I know that one of the warehouses burned down in the 1960s. There may have been something lost then, but all of the actual copies of the paper were on microfiche, so we have all of those.
I was just wondering if I could maybe save some time if there was some photographs taken by location in some archives somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, young man. I really am so sorry. We're in a small paper, you see.
Yeah.
I mean, all the archiving onto microfiche was done in the 1970s, and it was wonderful to see that we have it, and we still have all that. But we don't have anything but digital copies of things. Goodness me, no. I mean, there is the stuff that's in the archive, but that's all been done recently, and that was fellows from the university who did that.
So have you got something electronic that could indicate what microfiche I need to look for a certain area?
No, there's no indexes like
right,
that.
okay.
No.
Right,
The
so back to
microfiches they have are just literally the newspaper.
This is a tiny little
Yeah.
local newspaper.
It's not a history archive. It is an archive of the newspaper specifically.
They just don't have the resources. The key here is they just do not have the money and the resources to be able to digitize all this stuff. If you're the New York Times, you can go stick a couple of people in a room and get them to scan stuff.
No, it wasn't. It
Or you
wasn't
can put
about
stuff into
that.
big
It wasn't
machines
about
that-
digital.
you know.
What it was I know that some papers did and some papers didn't. When the cameraman went out and took pictures, they were also catalogued by area, and microfished. So you would have a microfiche of like 1,000 bloody pictures. They did that just in case the story didn't actually go to print. But more than likely, when the story goes to print and it has a picture with it, they would then use the picture and it would then be discarded because it's no good. So they would need a copy of some sort. So that's why I'm asking, about all the rest of it. But we'll just have to go straight through. And is it going to be worth our time to try and find that VALDEN house?
Richie?
Yeah, I think we
Can I
set
talk
Dr.
to-
Solinaro on that.
Can I talk to Richie for a second?
Hmm?
Richie, Margaret and how she works with that lady.
Sonia?
Yeah, Sonia Alvarez, who's talked to you.
Yeah.
Didn't they talk about, like, if you knew someone's name or something like that, they had some weird ritual for talking to people that had died or something?
I
Maybe
don't.
Margaret told me something. Never mind.
I remember going in. Yeah, I remember them taking me somewhere, and they gave me this board, and it flew across the room at one point. That was
okay.
interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know about specific names. I mean, I've not spoken to them
But
recently. We can ask.
We've got a real name. We've got a real name for
Yeah.
somebody.
And it seems like this person is a presence of this person is still
So if we've got a
manifesting.
place and we've got a name. Isn't that like two of the three most? We have a time almost too. I mean, okay, I don't want to get excited, but when Margaret was talking to me about stuff like that, I mean, if you know the name and the place and the time, don't you think you could do something if you talk to Sonia or if you talk to Margaret or I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm screwing you up. Stop.
I'll see if I can speak to Margaret and ask what she knows and see what she thinks. When we get back.
We've got two people's names. Two people's names
yes.
and two dates.
So we're whispering that in the background, but carry on.
Yeah, we can go look at that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I come back in the room. I've paid for the printouts as well that we've currently got, and I folded them up.
Excellent.
Okay, so I had this idea that maybe we could find a microfiche archive of sorts for the photographs that I used in the story newspaper. Sorry, in the newspaper columns. But no, they didn't have that. The warehouse burnt down as well. So if there was anything there, then we basically got everything that we're gonna get. Okay.
Would City Hall have anything? Do you think on the buildings and
maybe? But like Grace has said, Dr. Alvarez.
Yeah.
Dr. Alvarez? Dr. Salinero, sorry. We might be able to ask her.
Salinero, yeah.
Yeah, we might be able to ask her to get that information. In actual fact, that's a good idea. What's her email address, Grace? And I'll fire off a quick email. I got my phone out anyway.
Richie.
Give him the email address.
1927 VALDEN, VALDEN, all capitals, house. Have you got any info in archives reference to the above? Send.
I really think we should talk to Sonia.
yeah, we'll go and talk to Sonia.
I mean, I know she's really, really mean to people she doesn't know, etc. But I think if you sort of explained what we were doing, maybe referenced Margaret. But I mean, Sonia, she's not friendly, but it's worth a try. Just
Yeah. Well, I've spoken to her before, so she knows me.
Well, she seems to like you for some reason. I don't understand.
And, I don't know either. Maybe she's a fan of some of the music.
She probably is. She probably is.
So we either go through shitloads of microfiche and waste the rest of the day, or get back to campus. Actually, we could go to Mom's and get a nice big stack burger.
We can talk about that for the next 30 minutes.
So, question.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Well,
You collect your printouts, you pay for them,
yep, done that.
you get back in the car. What are you going to do now?
I whispered to
Go
you,
back to the
Richie.
campus.
Put everything back in its place as it should be. No, I think we're going to split into possibly two groups. I think possibly what we're going to be doing is sending Sarah and Richie over to speak to Sonia Alvarez.
Yeah, Sonia and or
see-
Margaret, depending on who's
Yeah,
available.
to see if they can find out any information about Mrs. Claiborne of VALDEN House, who was executed on the 11th of February 1928.
Thaddeus O'Leary.
And Thaddeus O'Leary, who went missing on Monday the blank of blank November maybe or something, I don't know when, but the particular date that the newspaper was issued. If they can contact Thaddeus O'Leary either.
So
We know where
So they're
Valden
going to
House
go
is.
look for that, and Fish and I are going to go and see Dr. Salinero and see if we can nudge her into her archives, forcibly push her down the stairs if we need to, get any information at all on VALDEN House,
stone
any
her a couple of
building work
times.
that was going on in the area, see if there's any likely places that a body might be smashed. At that time. Was there building work going over location map 26 and maybe the body's in the foundations? Who knows? See if we can find out some information from her. So if we break off into two
The first thing you
directions.
do is drive back to campus, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the drive back though, just for your information, John, I'm going to try and take as many pictures of the newspaper printouts on my phone. So when I give Richie the newspaper printouts, he can take those his way.
got
And we've
copies.
still got something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't mind paying for them, but I'm not paying for them twice.
No,
I'm a uni
that's
student at the
perfectly
end of the day.
Pretty reasonable. Yep.
Yeah. So just so that you know that we've both got the info. Okay.
Okay.
But you see,
So
Grace,
John's back.
Oh, sorry, go.
No, you go.
I was just
You're not
going to
back
say. So, Grace, the only thing with the building was we don't know when the building was knocked down, or even if it was knocked down way before 1998. Actually, that
Well, we
would
do
also be
know-
a very good question in line of inquiry, wouldn't it? Really?
Well, Dr. Salinero, didn't she say something about that there were a lot of buildings were knocked down in sort of like 1950s, and then
Yeah.
it was left blank until around about
Yeah.
the 1970s through to the 1990s when buildings were then put back in place. So there were blank areas.
I'm just struggling. And guys, correct me in the back seat if you think I'm off here, but I just can't imagine where the woman could actually hide a young body, and then if that building was knocked down and it was vacant for God knows how long before the new buildings were put up in 1998. I just can't see it, even if they had a mysterious basement.
I mean, there's a there's a river. There's a river nearby. I mean, soft soil, and there's plenty of places
Yeah.
it could be.
But then that also Sarah.
Mhm.
Oh, you said that you saw a flash. Maybe that could coincide with the electric chair. So maybe Sherry saw the apparition from the boy's view.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
I'm not sensitive in that way. I think we ought to leave that to people
Could
who
that
are
happen,
sensitive
Richie?
in that way. So maybe.
I mean, I don't know if the dates match up because it's not February now. I don't think, unless it is. I don't know what day it is. It's hard to say. I mean,
Or is it?
No. No, I think we're somewhere around about October, aren't we? October-ish, November-ish.
No, because class would start in October, and then you'd have 4 or 5 months, and then you'd have your.
I thought the second part of the midterm kind of ends at December, doesn't it? And you break up for Christmas.
Yes. So you are starting into fall at this point. Yes.
Oh,
okay, so we're not at February. It could be. I mean, I don't know how. There's definitely something going on. I mean, yeah, we didn't see a flash as such. We saw an image of horror and pain and anger, and yeah, we didn't see a flash as such. But in some ways, I wish I had.
I'm still convinced we're dealing with two things, not necessarily just the one. But interesting that they described her as demonic. She would just cackle. So would that be because she's had a clot or something and she's gone deranged? Or is possession actually a thing?
Yeah, we've seen some odd things, but yeah, who knows at this point.
Let's
to rule
get
it out.
to both the doctors. They obviously know more than we do. They just don't know that they know it yet. And then
Okay.
We get out the car.
So you have.
Yep.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Cope.
No, I was just saying to Richie, when we get out the car, I'll phone you and we'll go hands free and we'll do a group call with Grace Luke.
I've got these.
Well.
Yeah, well, I've got headsets you can use. So.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
so we'll use those like we did on the
Gosh,
the
those
other
are
night.
so sexy. They're so technical.
He's very technical.
Sometimes
He could be quite handy to you if you got on the right side of him. You know, put some professional edge on your videos that you put together for TikTok.
We don't see the 10-15 minutes from trying to untangle myself from cables at the end of a gig.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Okay.
Okay, have we arrived back at the campus?
Nope, you don't. As you approach the bridge that goes over the creek, you're just driving along normally, and you're all having this whole conversation. Fish has got pieces of paper out on his knee and has been scanning them with his phone. You're just talking amongst yourselves, and literally, as you get up towards the creek, you're noodling along, not driving too crazily. And then suddenly there's this moment in the car where, again, it's one of those moments of sort of a quarter of a second where you feel like darkness is around you. And suddenly,
Richie,
Grace, in front of your face, like hovering along the centre line of the car and turning and looking in your face, is this horrifying visage of this woman. And she looks at you and she screeches at you. I think you're going to need to make a driving check.
Oh boy.
I scream right behind her, which doesn't help.
Yeah. You don't crash because of the spirit. You crash because of the Oh, yeah, what was that? Oh dear.
Oh
Okay.
dear, Grace, this is a Benny time. Come on now.
Spending a penny, or
Well,
are you not spending a penny?
Sorry?
Okay. The car. I mean, it freaks you out, right? And okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to roll a d6. Okay. So we're talking about you're driving on the right hand side of the road. 1, 2, 3, you'll go left. 4, 5, 6, you'll go right. Okay. So you swerve. I mean, literally, your thing is to swerve.
Yep.
You're just so freaked out. You just spin the wheel accidentally, and the car careers off the road and hurtles down towards the creek.
Oh, Benny, you should have used
I
a Benny.
notice nothing through all of this.
Whoa! What happened?
Where are we
I'm
going?
just talking
What's
to
happening?
Grace and Richie, and taking the pictures on my phone and what have you. And I'm oblivious to the screeching, the everything else, and coming off the
Okay.
road.
All right,
Oh.
Grace, could you please make another drive check?
Come on, Grace.
You are hurtling off the road down a bank, and you're heading towards.
You have a crap load of bennies, and it's like 9:30. Don't screw it out. There we go. Oh wow!
How many times did that roll over?
Fits inside the car and screeches, and you go, oh! Straight off the road, hurtling along
Yeah.
down this.
I like the fact when you look at
and
it,
then
the
dice- the dice is 666.
Yeah, don't
The
take
sign
it.
of the devil.
reach down with your right hand,
Take it.
pull the handbrake, spin the wheel, pull the handbrake. This thing has just screeched at you, and then literally it's disappeared again. And the car slews sideways along the thing, rumbles along. Bump, 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 bump. There's a big honk, and then thump, and you're back onto the road, and then you just correct it in. And there's a truck coming the other way that just goes past you,
Oh,
and you're just like, and everyone looks down as you go
Holy
across
crap,
the creek.
Grace!
At a nice neat 35. Everyone looks down into the creek and goes,
I
Holy
look
crap,
up
Grace.
and I go,
"You're still alive."
do you think that was an Eddie Stobart? Nah, it couldn't be. Not Irina. Surely not.
There's no name on it.
Just a quick question, John. Can you tell me which road we're on? Are we going via number 10 on the map or the big wide road?
This
So it's
one.
that one. I wanted to ask because there's two bridges going across the river. So one close to the railway track and then the other one.
Yep.
Oh,
So-
you mean they're like the back road here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
No, it
wanted
doesn't
to
mind
see. Right. Okay. So it's that one. For the
Whoa,
viewers
man.
at home, it's this one.
Whoa. We
Well,
have
that
some
was-
purists. Our players are purists, and they will go with the map.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
Holy crap. Grace.
The thing is after
Driving.
this happens, Grace just sits there and just absolutely dead calm as you drive along. 30 just drop the speed very slightly, 35 mile an hour, and then turning
Tick, tick, tick,
back
tick.
onto campus.
What the heck? What time is
Parks
it?
up, gets out of the car, hands the keys to Fish, and goes, "Do you want to do all the driving from now on?"
You're right if Tomo was with you.
No,
Yep.
actually, Grace, I can't. I'm prohibited from driving. I can't drive. I don't have the awareness for it. I get sidetracked by everything else on the pavements, in the air, round the wherever I am. I just do not see things, and
That's not how ADHD works, okay?
you know, I just don't see things.
Tell
I'm-
the people
I'm-
alive, and it's perfectly safe for someone like me to drive. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I
You don't
just
just get
I just can't.
smack.
Wow.
Please don't suggest that to the insurance companies because
Okay.
I think my
so-
feelings are not.
to
All
jump
right, so
forward.
we're back at the campus now. What we're going to do actually is, I think we've got quite a few things that we're going to split off and do. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just leave it there for this week, and hopefully we'll come to our conclusions next week, and we can conclude various things. We've got various leads. Just as you pull up, by the way, Fish and Grace, your phones bong almost simultaneously, and you look at it, and it's an email. Okay? And it's an image from Dr. Salinero. She sent you another JPEG.
Okay.
You realise that she's changed it to a JPEG because it wouldn't have worked. You notice in the email that she finally sends you, notice that she's tried to send it a number of times and the file was too big. And when you open it, it's a scan of a blueprint. And you realise this is quite a big thing. So she had to go and find a special scanner to put this through.
Nice.
Excellent.
And it is a blueprint of the hall, the house. It's a blueprint of VALDEN house.
Nice.
And she's attached a couple of notes. She's attached the email. She says, "Hope you find this useful. This was the original builder's blueprint. Might be a useful thing for you to look at. Turns out the VALDEN house was hit by lightning in early 1930 and burned down in a storm in the winter.
As you would
So
expect.
in
And was demolished
1930, did you say
in
1930?
1930.
In 1930.
1930,
Excellent.
she says. Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Although apparently it had closed previously anyway. But it was torn down and the lot seems to have remained empty until 1998 when the new building was built.
Brilliant.
I'm just going to send her back a little message and just say, by any chance, was it closed in 1928?
Okay. You have to wait for a response to that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
So remind me next week, okay?
What a
Yep.
cliffhanger to end on, though.
Ooh. Hey,
But
stay on after the video, and we'll chat for a second. But that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
perfect.
Say
Wow,
farewell to our viewers.
GM
Hope-
Ghazi.
Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. How can you not?
Bye.
Awesome.
If you got all the way to the end, we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the NVRA whilst we bring you content of different games. If you like what we have done, please like and subscribe.